On this episode of Why Watch That?
This is maybe not for your mama's mama.
It ain't for nobody's mama. Okay.
Now listen, I don't know how these women keep getting away with it. I don't. Why are there 4 seasons of this? Now, great cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no, but
they are from Great Britain. You can't just start shooting people in the streets of South Africa and get away with it, right?
Diplomatic community. Yes, you can.
They literally look like people. Like, to me, I thought they were really them. I mean, that's how it was. Now, you do
It's
have
like
to
a documentary with lines.
And so the matriarch of this rich family is like, oh, he's gotten out? Like, yes, he's gotten out. Yes, he has. And he's coming for you. Why Watch That is a podcast featuring the critic
And referee who go head-to-head on a quest to discover the best movies
and TV shows Hollywood has to offer. Expect the unexpected from the critic.
Well, nothing gets past the ref,
We do all the work.
so you don't have to. Welcome to Why Watch That. This episode of Why Watch That is supported by Entrepreneur Meal Plan. It helps leaders and professionals feed their bodies and businesses well. Do you know, Critic, I got a chance to attend a wonderful event by EMP here in Los Angeles. And it was so amazing because Brandy Cochran was able to gather people from all sorts of walks of life. We were able to gather together, have real talk, and some real good food too. It was a hit.
It's food for the soul and the body, which is so hard to find. So if you want to learn more about Entrepreneur Meal Plan, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, go to entrepreneurmealplan.com.
The Why Watch That talk.
We've got some TV shows for you. We're going to talk about some premieres of season and series and some season finales and even maybe a sneak peek if you're good and nice to us listeners. Now, we definitely have been, super focused on South by Southwest, watching a lot of content. That is over and we're ready to jump right back into TV. So the question is, what can we talk about? Well, first, let's talk about the series premiere of a new show called Generation on HBO Max, coming to us from Daniel Barnes, who directed some things, but also it was co-created by Zelda Barnes. So the two of them did it. And if I read my cards right, Lena Dunham wrote an episode. So, okay. She's definitely no stranger to the HBO family. And she has a strong voice. Now, it's called Generation. And we have a newer crop of actors who look young, fresh. Some of them look like they walked right off of a CW set. And some of them look like they walked right off of Netflix's latest. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my kid is watching this. So I'll let you go through some of these actors. There are some familiar faces that show up, meaning some TV veterans I see as I'm scrolling through. But for the most part, this is maybe not for your mama's mama.
It ain't for nobody's mama. Okay. Now, one of the main names that you may know is Justice Smith, who was in Detective Pikachu and that kind of stuff.
And the Get Down.
And the Get Down, and he's one of the main characters. Martha Plimpton plays one of their mothers. Yeah. And Martha's doing her thing as usual, the breathing and, I don't understand, that kind of thing. So what this is about, here we go again. When I'm not going to give that away, but when I was a teenager, I was going to be more specific.
Well, if you give it away, I give it away too. So watch it, kid.
Speaking of that, there was a movie called Kids. And this started Rosario Dawson. It started Chloe Sevigny's career. And every time I see these things, I always think of kids and go, haven't we done this before? Euphoria now, and now this generation. Yeah. So what it's about is some teenagers in high school who, do teenage things. So one of them, played by Justice, he comes to school dressed inappropriately. He's like, well, the girls can wear this. Why can't I? Well, so he gets disciplined. He gets sent to the guidance counselor's office. There's a new guidance counselor, a new guy there. What happens between them? And then there is one of his friends, and they're all friends. So there is another guy who is navigating his own sexuality. That's what this is about. And he has a sister. And what's going on with him and his sister is the real question. Because we see early on in the first episode, his sister and one of her friends, they're having a moment in the mall, a moment you won't even guess what it is. The sister is outside of the bathroom. Her friend is in the bathroom. The door is locked. Nobody can get in. Why? What's the emergency? And then there's also there's one of the girls. She has two fathers. She's so irreverent. She talks like a bigot, but she has a right to. It's that kind of thing, and so on and so forth. So that's what's happening here. We have shifting narratives, that kind of thing. So what I would say is this: if they trusted the characters more and just their stories, they would have something. You don't need to add to it. You don't need to try to shock us. Just trust the predicaments you set up. Since they didn't do that for me, I had to bow out. But I think if you like Euphoria, why not watch Generation?
What's interesting? I've not seen 1 millisecond of this, so I'm not going to comment on, this. But I will say that what has frustrated me over the years, and even when I was a teenager, is how teens are represented on screen, big and small. They are usually annoying. I mean it. Annoying, irreverent, rebellious, I didn't, not that I was a straight-laced kid, but for the most part, I just really think that I'm ready for a shift. I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to see something way more interesting. And there is a movie or TV series that I was telling you about that takes place in Italy called Summertime on Netflix. And yes, these are later teens, meaning these aren't, 14-year-olds. They're more 16, 17 and growing into 18. It was just refreshing to see, like, we're not all a mess when we're teens. So there you have it.
Geeks, where's that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm kind of over that narrative, but obviously it is for someone. Otherwise, HBO Max wouldn't have picked it up. Right. Good Girls is making its 4th season debut on NBC. Now, listen, I don't know how these women keep getting away with it. I don't. Why are there 4 seasons of this? Now, great cast. Like, there's no, but what is happening here?
It's because, we get to spring and we need to have fun. I mean, that's what this is about. And we are not trying to figure this out and how this is actually happening. And they wouldn't even tell you it's ridiculous. That's the point. But the core of it, like you were saying, we have Christina Hendricks, Retta, and Mae Whitman as the 3 mothers who get involved with a drug dealer who has a syndicate. I mean, and then they get chased by the FBI and so on. It works because it's fun, and this is what you want. Now, what is happening now with Christina's character is she has the husband still. Matthew Lillard plays him. They have now opened a new business. Why? Think of laundry, but it's not laundry, literally. They're selling, hot tubs, but they're laundering. Okay.
Oh, so it's not quite Jason Bateman. We're not going down that path, are we?
She doesn't know enough to be Jason Bateman, but there is someone, a character from previous seasons who pops up who knows all about the books, and it's hilarious. Bush and all coming in, talking about, okay, this is how you do it. Oh, like this option, what about this option? So they deal with that as well because they want to get this major account. But who is the person in charge of the major account? You'll find out. Now, there's also her sister, played by Mae Whitman, and she's dealing with her son. She's dealing with, really not having a lot of money. And what's that like? Because her son goes to a school with a bunch of rich people. And her ex-husband, or is he the husband? Ex-boyfriend, whatever, who's the father, he has money. Yeah, exactly. He has money with his wife. So what's that like for her? How can she navigate that and not alienate everybody? She doesn't do a good job. Mm-hmm. And then there's Retta's character who, she has 2 kids. One of the kids really had health issues that they're constantly dealing with. Because the whole point is all of them have monetary problems that led them into this from the beginning. Yeah. So what we find out now, not the daughter in this season, the son something's going on with him, but they throw in a little twist. And there is always people who want to blackmail. So for Retta's character, what's going on with that? They throw in a twist there as well. And who is now chasing them? Because at the end of season 3, we see someone, an agent, who thinks that she is on to them. But will anybody listen to her? And what is going on with the drug dealer, right? Because doesn't he want them dead by now? And he is roped up in the murder that he did, and he ain't happy about it. There you go with Good Girls. It still works. If you liked it before, you'll like it now. This is something you just sit back and watch, and you laugh, and you're just happy that you don't have to think too much, and they don't treat you like an idiot. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 16 episodes this season, and it's going to go straight into the summer, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Bulletproof, which is in its 3rd season on the CW, is making its season premiere. You got a chance to check that out. Now, I believe whenever you talk about Bulletproof, I believe it's, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I always feel like you're a bit surprised that it's on the CW. I don't know why, but or maybe I'm surprised that it's on the CW.
Yeah, it's like, I'll put it this way. This is the kind of choice I wish the CW would make more. It's more of a show you would find on CBS in the summer rather than CW. So what's happening, it is coming to us from across the pond. And this shortened season is only 3 parts, so I won't be coming back to this, everybody. This is it for my review. In this shortened season of 3 parts, they are now, the 2 detectives who are friends, are now in South Africa. They've gone to South Africa for a vacation. But of course, they run into a couple whose daughter is kidnapped right in front of them. And of course, the kidnappers say, don't involve the police. Now, these detectives are there and they go, hey, we can investigate, but they are from Great Britain. You can't just start shooting people in the streets of South Africa and get away with it, right?
Diplomatic community. Yes, you can.
Stop it. Diplomatic immunity. You blow up someone's car and the cops come. Diplomatic immunity. You shoot someone in the head. Diplomatic immunity.
Don't touch my diplomatic purse. Okay, we've done. I mean, if this all is obviously coming from what is it? Lethal Weapon 3?
Yeah. Yes.
I think it was the 3rd one.
Yes. So great. Thank you for that. They do not have diplomatic immunity.
Oh, okay.
But this show does have fun with its premise. And that is what I like about it. It's just like Good Girls. At this time of year, this is a thing you can watch and not feel like you're an idiot. The 2 lead actors co-created it, Noel Clarke and Ashley Walters, who is from Top Boy Ashley Duchesne. So like, if you want to see them kind of be irreverent and do the shootouts and the explosions and be ridiculous, that's this show. So after that, you got a chance, and we're moving into season finales now. You got a chance to finish up the 2nd part of season 3 of Grownish. Zoe and all of her minions. What is going on, Ref? Tell us.
Well, we do know there's a season 4. So whatever happens at the end of this can't be the end. Now, we've seen, as I kind of started through the first part of season 3, we've seen Zoe, of course, do her grown move and drop out of college to become full-time stylist for 2 major celebrities. The question becomes, how did that work out? Now, we know Yes, 2. And things get sticky and get messy. And you see that go throughout the season. But we also see Zoe make a very big decision to do something. But it was because initially of rekindling a relationship that has been going on forever, on and off, maybe not. And that, of course, is Aaron. Is it going to happen? Is it not? Well, what makes this complicated this season is that now Zoe is finally ready to have a relationship with Aaron. But the question becomes, is Aaron ready for Zoe? She's burned him a lot of times. And plus, he's got somebody. But is that a thing for Zoe or not? Now, remember, she's the lead character.
Oh.
And what happens when the lead character decides things matter and some things don't? That gets sticky and real interesting. Now, what about the friends? Well, let's go back to Aaron first of all. It's Aaron's senior year. This is it for him. Remember, he was always a year older than the cast.
Yeah.
And he stood his ground. They definitely this season infused a lot of social injustices that we've been experiencing and seeing over the past 365 days, actually forever, but highlighted now. And he staged a sit down because the college was giving money or investing money in penitentiaries. And the question becomes with Aaron, does that work out for him in the end? Is he able to walk across the stage and get his diploma? And if he does or doesn't, what will that cost him? So there you have it with that. What about the rest of the friends? Well, Anna, we knew she was in a deep relationship with one of her, shall we say, advisors. She was in a relationship with him. Turns out he is a real diehard Christian. And along those lines come no sex. That was a big, huge issue this season. How is she still going to love someone and not love someone? So you'll get to see the conclusion, which is a very interesting topic, obviously, that happens on college campuses. Nomi is back with her baby in the house. How does that play out with all the members of the house? Meanwhile, Vivek, drug dealing Vivek, found himself a love. And that love...
Finally.
I mean, literally, that was the whole thing this season. They're like, you... like people and people like you? Well, Vivek is new in the game of relationships and new in the game of love in the sheets. The question then becomes, in today's modern society, what does that mean? How experimental are we going to get with that relationship? Ugh. And then finally, probably one of the bigger storylines that they've really highlighted Chloe and Haley Bailey's character, Jazz and Sky, the 2 track stars. It is for them the year to go to the Olympics, and they've been working their tushes off. Remember, Jazz is in a full-on relationship with someone, and they stopped doing everything. They went on pause. They go to the tryouts, and I'll just say this: one of them makes it and one of them does not. What does that mean for the house and the friendship and the relationships tagged onto this? And then finally, Luca fell in love. But what happened to that? He and Zoe are absolutely no longer a thing. But in the finale, something big happens. It happens every finale, by the way. It's either Aaron or Luca. Something big happens, and Luca has finally pushed Zoe to a certain place. And based off of that, what does she do? Does she get with Aaron or does she not? So that's Grownish. Overall, this season was really about exploring the aspects of what love looks like, right? What love looks like and then what justice looks like. So it's really like a love justice kind of thing. And I will say this, and we can move on. Just like with Blackish, just like with many shows where you have a very strong showrunner with a strong point of view, whenever that showrunner moves on or maybe isn't quite as involved, it does become difficult. When the show isn't about being Grownish and the issues around Grownish, same with Blackish, then it really is any show you would find on the CW and just sort of move off. Will I keep watching it? Now you got a chance to, well, we both, had a chance to start and finish the limited TV series called The Investigation that comes to us from way across the pond. I mean, across the pond and some land. So we're in Copenhagen.
Ooh.
And this is on HBO. So it's a complete, there is no way there's a season 2 unless they do an anthology of another crime.
Right.
You talked a little bit about earlier on the crime, which is based on how it rocked the world. We got to see something a little different. I have a definite opinion about it, especially in light of, get this, Chernobyl.
Interesting. Yeah. So this is based on what happened to Kim Wall, a journalist. We are in Denmark, like the ref was saying, and they take you through the investigation, which spanned over 150 days. I mean,
oh, what?
And so you see the head of investigating murders, whatever they call it.
Homicide unit. Yeah.
So you see him really dedicate himself to that, his team dedicate themselves, the divers dedicating themselves. Because what happens is Kim gets on a submarine with this guy. Yeah, mm-hmm. She's a journalist with this guy for the story, doesn't come back alive. Now, in what was interesting, especially here, is seeing the Danish legal system, like what they have to do to prove guilt. It's very interesting because, get this, everybody, if you are accused of a crime there, you can change your story as many times as you want. So you can see what the investigators have as evidence and change your story to match it. They literally have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. They've got to do it. They have to have motive. Like, we don't have to have that in the United States. It's nice, but you don't have to have motive. So that is the struggle here. So they are literally trying to cross every T, dot every I. It takes a long time. And if you throw evidence into the ocean, can anybody find it? How does that affect Kim's family? How does it affect the head detective's family? All of this stuff starts coming in here, and you see even the prosecutor himself, he keeps being called in. He's like, it better be good. It's Christmas. I mean, it's stuff like that. It's like, look. So we navigate this. And the thing about this show, it's clinical. They are not adding heat or anything, no fuss. This is what it is.
So many start stops. Oh my gosh. American audience, beware.
Beware. It's just almost like if you were there and you're trying to figure it out with them. So you go with them. But that, to me, it's so different from what we're used to that it was a nice way to watch. I could just really sit with these people and know they're not going to go over the top with anything. These are just people trying to figure this out. Nothing. They're just trying to figure this out. So I was interested in the intricacy of how it worked. That was new for me, learning how their legal system worked. And also because, these are Danish actors and so on and so forth, Swedish actors. I don't know these people.
Well, they're famous. If you look up, they're very, very big in their country.
Over there, right? Yeah.
So people are willing to sit with that, because they trust. It's different for us. We don't know them.
Exactly. And that works because they know how to act. I mean, but they literally look like people. Like, to me, I thought they were really them. I mean, that's how it was. Now, you do have to read...
documentary with lines.
So you do have to read subtitles, all of that. But if this is interesting to you, where you just have a clinical investigation, it's really what it is. It's 6 parts. You'll be done and you'll go, okay, that was something.
Yes. I have to, what I said earlier about Chernobyl is, which is also on HBO, in case you have been under a rock. That is a phenomenal series, limited, basically the same kind of essence. Something happens and they walk you through, and at the end of the day, things have to be proven. I will say this: the investigation I committed to watching because there were a lot of start stops. Literally, they're like, "Oh, we found something." No, we didn't. Oh, the divers. Oh, no, they're not. Just it was frustrating, and I wasn't mad at it. I was mad at the fact that it was 6 episodes because if you're going to have that kind of investigation, and maybe that is the culture, the Danish, culture, to not like all the bells and whistles and flashes. But the fact of the matter is, this isn't on HBO International. This is on HBO, that predominantly has an American audience. And for me, I highly, highly doubt that more people finished than they stopped. Only because they're like, oh my gosh, I'll just go on Wikipedia, look, which is what I did. I was like, how much more? Like, because I would have been angry if they would have been like, and they never concluded the situation.
Yes, there is resolution. Yes.
I would have been livid up to my mind and would have written nasty little, well, I wouldn't have sent them, but I would have written them nasty notes to HBO going, why? Yeah. So to me, it would have been a jam-packed, sweating, like, oh my gosh, 3-episode arc. They literally could have cut out half. Yeah. So that is my precaution that I'm throwing out there to you listeners. With Chernobyl, it was similar length, but every episode revealed new crazy information, whereas this was like, we found,
well, that's what happened. I mean, that's what happened.
Well, it happened, but that's not 150 episodes. So, we don't have to take it day by day. We could find arms, bodies, and all that stuff and do all that stuff in an episode. I just needed it to move. But the acting was amazing. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. And especially, I have to highlight, and I don't have her name in front of me, but there is one detective. She's a female, the only female detective on that particular case, who from the start, in the beginning, I loved her story out of all the stories, because she really, really, without it beating you over the head, had a stake in it. A female, a woman who,
and nobody had to say, "Hey, look at me." No.
Well, nobody says, "Hey, look at me."
Yeah.
I mean, there is no "hey."
The parents, I mean, at the end, when you see, I mean, it's just like, it's beautiful without them doing it. Nobody is like tearing sheets and crying.
No, it was beautifully acted. Way too long. But there you have it. Let's conclude with a sneak peek that's not even out yet.
A Why Watch That sneak peek.
You got a chance to see some of it. And Who Killed Sara is coming to Netflix. And it is going to premiere on the 24th. 4 episodes are available for your review. So you either did or didn't get to see all of that, but 10 episodes in total for season 1.
Exactly. I did watch all 4 episodes.
Okay.
I did. Okay. And this is in Spanish, so you'll have to read subtitles. We do not recommend dubbing. We do not.
Please, just don't do it. I mean, try it. Go ahead. You might like it, but at the end of the day, it just sounds... Yeah. You miss the
acting. Like, I'm sorry, you just don't have it from the people who were casted to do it in front of you. So what happens is, there are some teenagers, they're friends. And 2 of them are brother and sister. And the sister is dating this rich guy. So the brother, the sister, her boyfriend, the boyfriend's brother, they all go out on a boat. And she gets up in a contraption. You'll see what it is. And ends up dead. Who killed?
In the contraption?
Yes, because of that. It looks like it was tampered with. Okay. Who killed Sara? Well, her brother took the fall. Why? Now, this rich family promised him things if he did this. Why did they do that? His mother is ailing. We'll take care of your mom. Did this come to pass? Now, he goes to prison for like 18 years and he gets out. And so the matriarch of this rich family is like, oh, he's gotten out? Like, yes, he's gotten out. Yes, he has. And he's coming for you. You, your husband, and your 3 kids, because they also have a younger sister. And they're all now grown, of course. So he starts plotting his revenge, just like the Count of Monte Cristo. It's like revenge, all of that kind of stuff. He has all of their pictures up on a little board in the house. Like, how does he have money is the question as well. Because I'm like, he's not working. He's just lurking in the house, doing all kinds of stuff.
You got all kind of connections when you've been in the pen for 18.
Well, and you learn, obviously, how to hack people's phones and all other kinds of stuff. He's like a genius with computers. Whatever prison this is, I need to get lessons. So not go there, but just get lessons.
Oh, I was going to say,
Note what I said. So, okay. So he is plotting and planning his revenge. But there's someone who doesn't reveal who they are, who says, I know who killed your sister. Who is this person? How could they know? They say, I was there. And the sister, who was not involved, she wants to figure out what's going on too. How do they connect? Okay. Now, also with the other siblings, the two sons, the son who was the boyfriend, he's married, but what's that like? And he's supposed to take over his father's empire. They have a casino. Can he do that? Does he have guilt? And for his brother wants to have a kid, but he has a husband. How's that perceived by the family? And what else is going on with him that's attached to Sara? Now, with that said, like I said, revenge, the Count of Monte Cristo. If you like this stuff, especially revenge, that's what it is. This is ridiculous. It is soap opera.
Does it know it's ridiculous? Okay.
There's one scene, Ref, like in the 4th episode, where they all come into like the family house, like, and one person comes in at a time and says, hey, it's my turn now. It's literally like that. It's like, no, what about this? And what about that? And the mom's like, shut up. Your father did all this for you. It's that kind of thing. But they're being serious about it. But it's a soap opera. So when you know what you're getting into, it is a revenge, like, but if you don't know Spanish, you got to read the subtitles. But it is revenge. Imagine if revenge were on Netflix. Imagine what they could show. Okay. So they had the freedom to show everything. So there you go. That's Who Killed Sara.
Oh boy. There you have it with the TV offerings. Not bad at all. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to watch. We're heading into spring officially, and we're heading into summer. So I think we can fill your time up, especially if you ain't going outside.
Thanks for listening. For additional resources, visit WhyWatchThat.com.
Good idea, and we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave comments, feedback, and you can rate us on iTunes.
We'll see you next week.
See you.